welcome to the Scale Modelling Cafe, and welcome to a short review of a product that I'm about to use on the current project on the bench, which is this, the Zokei Mura F-4 Phantom. And it's this little set here from Hypersonic. It's a canopy detailing set. I've used Hypersonic sets before. The chap who runs the company, he's a UK guy but based in Japan these days, and I've used his Phantom projects on quite a few models, or a couple of models, 48 scale Phantoms that I've used, but I've not used this before, so I'm interested to see how it actually works out. In here, even though on the box it's just the picture representation of both opening clamshell canopies, there are details for the windscreen and the centre section as well. It's resin, photo etch and wire. So rather than me waffling on here about what this is all about, let's pop over to the bench and I'll take you through the contents. Okay, welcome to the bench, and actually this is a really nice box. I know that's a bit daft, but yeah, really professional package. On the front, so set 1 is for Hasegawa, 2 for Academy, 3 for Zokei Mura with a red dot. So this is the right set, which is wonderful. And we'll just take out the parts. So what we have is a just move that out of shot there. In fact, let's leave it there. Why not? We have a small bag of resin, a photo etch fret, and the instructions. So we'll go to the instructions first. Printed on really nice glossy paper. This is a very professional looking package. Excuse me. Right, so what we have here is some gouge on how to deal with the resin. So giving it a wash and a wipe down, and how to remove the parts from the excess. All starts with the front canopy. There's a masking part here which you put down, and then this sort of shaded part is you have to sand it all down to the same thickness and level as the main transparencies, the main canopy. This is going to be, should we say, nerve-wracking. But yeah, you need to do it in order to fit the resin parts. Once you've sanded it all flush, and I'm probably going to mask off the entire inside of the canopy, just belt and braces, then it's telling you to, you can polish or dip the canopy, and you're ready to insert the resin part. The one bit that does make me a little bit nervous is just back here and the mounting lugs here. I'm wondering if the reason why you've got to cut those off, and there are some, or at least reduce it right down, is so it'll fit in the modified centre section. More of that in a moment. Once your resin part's in, and now the glue to use here, you can use anything really, that any sort of super glue or PVA or anything like that. I'll probably use the Ammo Ultra Glue, which is effectively a clear resin glue. Once you've done that, you need to align things up, trim things down, and then it's onto the photo etch part. There's a little bit of bending, but not too much, so it all fits in place. There's the mirrors here. I may cut my mirrors off because I do have some resin ones which would be a little bit more detailed and a little bit less two-dimensional. The easy way to remove those is just bend these backwards and forwards until they just pop off. Down here it says use white paint or use the placard decals. There's no decals included with the set, so I'm just wondering if there's some decals in the kit itself. I don't know, I'm going to have to check. Over the way, now we're detailing up the back part here. So it's telling you to make a thin spiral, like a spring. This is for the comms cord. What I would do here is, there is some wire, as I'll show you in a moment, some black wire, and just pop that in, a hypodermic needle or a bit of fine tubing. Just pop the end in and then wrap it round, and then you just twist and keep pushing it back down, twist, push it back down so it's nice and tight, and then you just cut it to length. The resin actuator here This R3 part here is the lock for the oleo, if you like. I might do that because it says paint it in red, and that'll give a nice splash of colour. And then finishing off down here with some more resin parts, and there is a bit of wiring to do, so I'd be tempted actually to glue this this part R7 in first before gluing this main part to the canopy, attaching the wires, painting the wires, and then it would be a simple job just to finish off. So that's the main canopy, and that's the most complicated part. The rear part is much easier. You're just modifying the mounting at the back and then just sticking all the resin and photo-etch bits on. Saying here that not all F4Cs had the mirrors in the back cockpit, so that's something I'm going to have to check for my particular aeroplane. That's it, that's the first part. Again, mounting it here, and onto the windscreen you have the photo-etch and this resin part here for this whatever instrument that is. Be easy just to pop a decal onto the front of that as well from the spares box. And then the middle canopy, and I'll probably start with the middle canopy actually, because then when I'm modifying this bit here, then I can test fit as I go along. There's a resin part, as you can see, that goes up in there, and a little bit more wire, which I might replace with lead because it is more malleable. Interesting here is what I'm going to do is I will mask the inside part of the canopy, then glue all these bits on, mask the outside of the canopy, and then it should be a simple job to go in there and paint that. If you haven't got any masks, or you don't want to mask the inside of the canopy there, then I recommend you paint the inside of obviously this resin part and your wiring, and this part of the photo-etch, because it does sort of stick out, and it's going to be an awful job trying to get in there neatly with your paintbrush. And then some more details here, look. That's the instructions. Okay, on to the set itself. Let's just have a look at the photo-etch. Really nicely packaged, very stout piece of corrugated cardboard. Okay, let's bring this in a little bit closer. Right, so here is the photo-etch set. I can already tell that is super, super thin. The detail is fantastic. You can see all the raised rivet detail on those side bits, if I just catch it in the light. Now, the way I deal with these is I will just give this a very, very careful, gentle sand, because it is quite fragile, even though it's on the fret. Then I'll probably prime it with the VMS metal primer. Then remove the parts as I need them. In fact, sorry, before even that, I'll turn the sheet over and I'll scuff it up with a very coarse sanding stick, just to roughen up the area, just to give the glue a little bit more bite. But that's really nice. On to the main event then, and the resin parts. So in this bag, there's the bit of vinyl masking for the front canopy. Some wire, which is incredibly fine. That's probably, I can't even pick it up. It's so fine, wet my finger. That's probably 0.1, I'd say. And here's the black, maybe 0.2 for the black. Okay, let's start with the front canopy. So the sort of moulding bit here is actually really fine, and it's very thin. I can see my finger through that. So the way I'd release this is with a sharp blade, just go in and score until I've freed the side parts. Same with the back, and it's going to take a little bit more down the back. These are the mounting lugs here. So you're going to have to be a little bit careful around there, but that should be a simple job to remove that. As for the detailing, there we go. You can see there on the front face there's some raised riveting detail. That's really nice. And then if we turn it over, various lumps and bumps on the back, and that detail is exquisite. Very, very fine raised riveting in there as well. And being moulded in this really dark grey plastic, painting that black should be dead easy. So that's the front canopy. The rear canopy, just check that's in focus. So the rear canopy, exactly the same, exquisitely detailed. That's really, really fine. Now I don't know how this is made, whether this is 3D printed and then cast, or whether it's been scratch built. If it's scratch built, that is a beautiful job, really clean. And the detail, and the detailing here, as you can see, absolutely beautiful. Can't wait to get started on this. That's brilliant. Smaller parts, all the little bits and pieces, and the retraction jacks here. Again, beautifully detailed. The advantage of using these is, okay, they're not as strong, but all the strength comes from the rear of the canopy mounting. But there's obviously no seam lines to deal with. That's lovely. Here's the other small part with all the other bits and pieces. This is the main bit for the centre canopy, I think. And just on the front there, a little bit of detail painting there. There's some buttons and a small display. Probably just pop a little decal in there from our scale. That's lovely. And then the last part, this is the main bit for the centre section. Not so much detail on there on the front face, but there is this dangling bit thing here. So that you're going to have to be very careful in removing that and then making sure you don't snap it off. But again, beautifully detailed. There we go. Right, I'll go and pack all this up and nip over to the chair and we'll have a bit of a wash up. Okay, that was Hypersonic's canopy detailing set. I think you'll agree it's absolutely fantastic. The detail is beautiful. The choice of using different materials for the different detail parts I think is brilliant. And it should go a long way to raise the detail levels on your model. Now I think that the cockpit area is the focal point of any aeroplane model, and therefore this is extremely welcome. As you've just seen, it's beautifully detailed. The choice of where to use resin and photo-etch and including the wire I think is brilliant. And it's not bad value actually either. I just hope that he's going to do one of these for the new Meng F4E and G as well. I really hope so. There we are. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to get straight to the bench because I can't wait to start using this. What I'm going to do at the end of the video is I will include the excerpt that, and I'm going to edit it down, that I'm going to put in the actual episode for this kit. So I'm going to I will lift it out of the main video and I'll plonk it at the end of this with a bit of nice music, and you can see how it works in action and what the final result is. There we are. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.